Hey, welcome back to my channel. I thought I would do kind of a fun series just about, history, kind of make it short, sweet, concise. And if you have other questions about it, maybe we could talk about it down in the comments. But, for this one, I thought, hey, let's ask the question, what do you know about the 12th Amendment to the United States Constitution and why we have it? Well, to answer that question, we have to go back to the adoption of the Constitution and specifically Article 2, which is the executive article. This is the article that speaks to the office of the president, where we get the Electoral College, which was put into place to keep the largely populated states from drowning out the least populated states, but that's an entirely different video for an entirely other time, should I decide to do it. Anyway, under Article 2, electors would meet in their respective states and vote by ballot for two persons, one of which could not have residency in the other one's state. So if you were in New York, you could pick one candidate from New York, but the other one had to be from another state. So, it sounds confusing, but it really wasn't, because the people voted on whom they wanted to be president. And the list would then go to the electors, where the person with the most votes would be the winner of said state. The electors would then send their certifications to the seat of government of the United States, addressed to the President of the Senate. From there, the President of the Senate, in the presence of both houses of Congress, would open up all of the certifications and count them. The person with the most votes became President of the United States, and the runner-up would be the Vice President. So, no running mates, just everybody who wants to be wanting that job goes out, convinces the American people why they should have that job, and then the best man would win. And this was rooted in the concept of the founders known as the best man, meaning they thought that the best person for the job would be the most qualified to be the president, and the second most qualified would be the vice president. And I think that would really make for some interesting bedfellows today if we still followed that concept. Oh my. On a side note, the founders did fear generational perspectives of political parties and alliances, and felt that they were antithetical to the long-term prosperity of republics. Just something to think about. So it sounds easy enough, and much like the system that we have today, in which American citizens vote for their choice for president, and the electors send those results to the Senate counts the votes, tallies the results, and voila! A president is selected. Today, though, the runner-up just loses, because now we have running mates. So when did that change, and why? Well, to understand the reason, we have to go way back to the election of 1800. In this election, there was a tie between Thomas Jefferson and Aaron Burr. And per Article 2, in the event that no person received a majority of votes, the House of Representatives would choose, by ballot, one for president. A list of the top 5 after that would then be voted on by the House for the office of vice president. So in the election of 1800, the House chose Jefferson for the office of president, making Burr the vice president. And this marked the first election in U.S. history where political parties actually had influence over the elections, which the founders really had hoped to avoid. This was also the first election where those running for president had running mates. So Adams was running for re-election with Charles Pinckney for the Federalist Party. Jefferson's running mate was Aaron Burr for the Democratic Republican Party. The Federalist Party didn't think it fair to vote for both of their candidates, as it would create a tie if they both got the majority. The Democratic Republican Party decided that they would just vote for both of their choices and submit it. The outcome was a tie. This would lead to a proposed amendment in 1803 to restructure the selection of presidential elections. That amendment became the 12th Amendment to the United States Constitution and was ratified into law on July 27, 1804. The 12th Amendment still has electors meeting after the election to review the ballots, but there are two separate lists now, one for president, one for vice president. The electors then make lists for each, count the number of votes each received, again, one for president, one for vice president. They sign those, they certify these lists, they submit them to the president of the Senate, which does sound much the same as Article 2, except it's not really the best man wins the presidency and the runner-up is vice president. In this change, the person on the list for president with the most votes is president. Tiebreakers still go to the House with votes taken by the states, the representation from each state having one vote. A quorum then consists of a member or members from 2/3 of the Senate, and a majority of all the states would be necessary for the choice. Likewise, the person with the most votes for vice president becomes the vice president. So, the 12th Amendment, in effect, worked to modify the Electoral College to be more accommodating to the political party system that we have today. So, did you know this about the 12th Amendment to the Constitution? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Was this a good idea? Should they maybe not have done it? I don't know. I mean, I found it very interesting. I do honestly think, though, that maybe we should kind of go back to what it was under Article 2 and just, best man wins. So everybody runs for president. Whoever has the most electoral votes wins, and then the runner-up is the vice president, and I think that would be fantastic. Fantastic! I don't know, what do you think? Let me know down in the comments. And if you like this content, let me know. Maybe give the video a like, maybe give it a subscribe. I don't know, but I will see you in one of my next videos.